Hey everyone, I'm Joanna Rochester, and this is Real Talk Wellness Renegades on Speak Up and Empower. Speak Up and Empower is an online community of heart-centered people bringing the best to your world. We are experts, we are practitioners, we are teachers, guides, coaches, etc., and we share with you the information that you need to become the best version of yourself. And so I am, once again, Joanna Rochester, and I am the Wellness Renegade. I teach people how to use natural therapies to heal yourself. We are designed to heal ourselves, but we've forgotten how. And so when we can get back more in touch with ourselves and our bodies, understand our emotions better, then we can utilize natural therapies to heal ourselves. And it's never just one or the other, natural therapies or Western medicine. A medicine should be integrative. Healing should be integrative. It should be, ideally though, that when you start to feel symptoms or notice symptoms or get sick or have issues, that you turn to natural therapies first. And then if you don't get the results you're looking for, then you can turn to other options that are available to you. So at Wellness Renegades, we are rebels. And we want to use what's available to us naturally first. And so I am an intuitive life coach, a homeopath, a nutritionist, a speaker, and an author. And so I help share with you all that I've learned in my journey to wellness, and so that you can start to move or attain the goals that you've set for yourself. And that's what we're talking about today is, setting goals, but also understanding more of what prevents you from attaining those goals. Because we all set goals, right? Whether it's, setting our intentions at New Year's for what we want to achieve this year, or, even on a daily basis, setting some intentions for what you want to achieve that day. All of these things, like we're always setting goals, or the majority of us are, setting goals towards, moving towards that best version of ourselves. But so often we get caught up and don't achieve our goals. And it's hard to understand why. If you've been on, diets constantly and lose the weight, gain the weight, lose the weight, gain the weight, then you'll know what it feels like to, achieve a goal and then fall backwards. And we do that all the time, every single one of us, whether it's on our journey of spiritual awakening or remembering who we are, or it's on our journey of weight loss or regaining health, or, tapping into ourselves more. All of these pieces, it's so common, right? Because we're human in part, but the more you can understand yourself and more understand why we don't achieve what we've set out to achieve, the easier it is for you to move through and start to, first of all, not judge yourself for not achieving those goals that you set for yourself. Because, a judgment of yourself assumes that you've done something wrong. And our journey is to have adventures and to understand how our emotions, our physical body, our thoughts affect us, and understand how stress affects us, and how understand traumas that occur and adventures that occur, how they affect us, and then learn from them. Because everything that happens in your life is a feedback loop. It's something that's being presented to you so that you can understand yourself better. Our journey in this lifetime is about self-love, loving who we are. And when we move into that place of self-love, then the rest falls in place. And not only for ourselves, but for our relationships. So often the energy that we put out to the world blocks us, affects us, creates these relationships, these physical symptoms without us even realizing it. So the more you can come to understand yourself, the more you can release and allow the best parts of our journey to come in and to get into more of the flow. So one of the biggest reasons why people are challenged to attain their health goals, their awareness goals, their financial goals, their physical goals, their life goals, is because at the heart of them, they truly don't feel that they deserve. And, I've gone through this journey myself, right? It comes back from, early childhood. But it's funny, right? As I look back and come to understand that this feeling of not deserving, and for me, it relates back to very early childhood stuff. But then it was, it affected my relationships, and it affected the people that I chose to have relationships with. Because, if you don't think you deserve, then you're not going to pick someone that is like, you'll never think that you deserve someone better. So it's not that you're making do, but if you don't think you deserve, because so often it's not a conscious thought that I don't deserve better, or that I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy. It's very much unconscious, and it goes back to inner childhood work that needs to be done, and something that could have happened in your childhood that made you feel this way. And so often, we just don't realize that we're being affected on a day-to-day basis by that inner child. It's because it is subconscious, and we're controlled. About 90% of what we do comes from our subconscious. So the more we can tap into and learn to love ourselves, the more we can understand these pieces of ourselves and stop judging them, but also let them go and have them no longer be a trigger for us, no longer to control us. And so then the question is, how do you love yourself more? And this is something, that I've been working on for a long time. And it's a challenge, right? Because as soon as I think that I could say I love myself, I never used to be able to say that, but, to be able to say I love myself, it's like, well, love yourself more, because God is in us and we are God. So God loves us unconditionally. Can you say that you love yourself unconditionally? I know that I'm moving towards loving myself unconditionally, but this is a challenge, and this is something that is really important for each and every one of us to move towards. So, it is important to understand whether or not you don't deserve, or you're not good enough, or you are not worthy, whatever that piece is. That is something that I think very often it is much easier for you to reach that point of understanding what that core, that seed thought is, by working with someone. I know for myself, I spent many years, I knew I had self-confidence issues, but I didn't realize, where it came from. And for me, it went back as I said, very early in my life. And but it's not so important, although helping you move forward will truly, it will be important for you to understand what that seed thought is. But to move forward, there's all kinds of things that you can start to do to understand yourself better, and to recognize the pieces of you that are challenging or limiting you from being that best version of yourself. And one of the biggest things is to start doing things like mirror work or shadow work, because when we do this work, we come to understand ourselves better. And of course, I always talk about being that observer in your life. And the more you can step back and observe, notice your physical symptoms and understand them, or notice your thoughts, notice your emotions, the more you can do that, the more you can be in touch with them and be aware of them. And, that comes by being in the moment. But to get back to loving yourself more, and shadow work. So what is shadow work? Shadow work is coming to understand the pieces of yourself that you don't like right now, and that you want to move away from, or you want to be better at. And so how do you do shadow work? Once again, working with someone makes it a lot easier, but it is in meditation a lot of times. But when you're that observer, you can start to notice pieces of yourself. Just for example, one of the biggest things with me right now is that I'm really bothered by the fact that when I go to retail stores, when we're not in lockdown, and someone in a retail store tells me what to do, this just gets my back up, and I get really irritated, and I get kind of snarky. My daughter will tell you that I'm not very nice sometimes, and it's awful, and I shouldn't be like that. And I'm aware that I'm doing it, but I still haven't figured out, well, in part is I don't like being told what to do. I've really come to realize this during COVID and lockdown, and even the marks on the floor where they tell you to stand 6 feet apart. I catch myself, I will never stand on those circles. I will always stand to the side of it, in front of it, behind it. And I don't even realize that I'm doing it most of the time, but I don't like being told what to do. So a bit of a rebel there, but that really surprised me that I was like that. And that's what I feel that it's like when I go into these stores. And it's terrible because they're just doing their job. And I get that on a logical level, but somehow on an emotional level, it's someone telling me what to do. And they don't have the right to do that. That's what is coming up in me. And so I keep trying to explore that because it's not, it creates, I'm utilizing energy. It creates emotions. I'm being triggered when I do that. And so it is a journey that I'm working through right now. So there's a waste of energy with it. It brings up anxiety a bit within my body. So I'm sure my blood pressure is raised a little bit. If I had digestive issues, it probably would affect my stomach. There's probably more acid in my stomach. So all of these pieces add up together. And it's really important for me right now to figure this out and understand where it's coming from so I can let it go, not only for me, but also so I'm not being rude to these poor people in the stores. And I have no, it's rude for me to do it. It's just that simple. So it's a part of me that I don't like and I want to move away from. And, that's what I'm working on, but that's part of my shadow work right now. So there's a part, like a piece of me that I would consider something, I don't like. And so releasing that and understanding it is really important to move forward and to, reduce the symptoms on my body. And that's just something that's really minor. But if you think about that and you apply it to your life, what comes up in your life that you're really bothered by or get really triggered by or that you're over responding to, that you're not sure of what causes it. And this is where journaling is a really great way to start to connect the dots. So at night, write down three emotions that came up that day or 3 instances where you were bugged by something and start to explore them. You can do unconscious writing where you just start writing and start saying, I don't understand why this bugs me, but this happened today, and start writing about it and get it out. And unconscious writing is tapping into your unconscious self and giving your conscious self that connection, that ability to just get that information out to you so that you can start to understand it and understand that piece of you so you can move forward and let go of that and release that block. So that is just a simple example, but it is, it's so big and often, we never have just one thing that's going on in our life. And we never have just, once you are aware of it, you go, oh, well, that's it. Well, it would be wonderful it was that, but it's not. So, this is why, and, it's easy to use, not being able to lose weight as an example, but it is so deep. When people have put on weight, a lot of weight in particular, it's never something just as simple as, well, they're just not eating right or, they're not exercising enough. It's never just that. There is often that piece of it, but there's often that piece that says, well, why do you not love yourself enough to, like, when you need to exercise and you need to drink more water, eat better, eat less, eat more, whatever it is, there's always that underlying seed thought that says, well, you don't deserve any better anyways. And so if you can take a look at it from that perspective, then you can understand it better and understand yourself better and dive into it. And it's never just something simple, right? So a lot of times there is a lot of abuse. Abuse has a profound effect upon you. Sexual, mental, emotional abuse, and the majority of us have it. I would say when I was doing more homeopathy and nutrition, that 75% of my clients had been abused at some point in time. And very often we push it down and say, like it just happened years ago. Well, any type of abuse or trauma has that profound impact, and we do suppress it because we don't know what to do with it and we don't understand the ramifications. Even if you've gone to counseling over the years, often And counseling can be great, but often it's not getting to, you're talking about it, but it's not getting to the true impact upon, the pieces that are left, that inner child that was affected. And it's not just inner child. I certainly worked through stuff, at a much older age, going through my divorce, going through the death of my mother, etc., and coming to understand that, we leave pieces of ourselves behind because we don't know how to deal with them. We don't know how to move through it because we don't have the tools in order to understand ourselves better. And this is where having those tools is a really great way to come to understand yourself better. And so the shadow work is great, taking a look at pieces of you that you don't like and exploring them, because actually so often what is in your dark side, in your shadow piece, those pieces of you don't like, is where your greatest strength is. So I'm really hoping with this piece of me that doesn't like to be told what to do, that, that's where my greatest strength will lie. Anyways, but so there's shadow work that can be done. There is that inner child work that I mentioned. And with the inner child work, it's going back to the earliest moment where you can remember being triggered in the same way, being frustrated, being angry, being a feeling of abandonment, that feeling of not deserving whatever it is, and going back to that inner child and working with her or him to figure out, what will make them feel that they are now safe, that they are loved, that they do deserve whatever the emotion is. And so the inner child work is really good. Mirror work is a great tool also to come to understand yourself. And mirror work can be as simple as just staring at yourself in the mirror and looking right into your eyes and saying, I love you, or I am really happy with the way you're moving. If it's too much of a challenge to say I love you, then, I am happy that you're moving towards being a better person, or I'm happy that you're more awake, or I am moving towards being that best version of me. But, ideally it's moving towards looking in the mirror at yourself for 5 minutes and saying, I love you. And I remember the first few times I did that, I think the first time I just kind of awkwardly looked in the mirror and was a bit awkward and, laughed at myself. And then I think the second time I was about a minute into it. And then all of a sudden I just started to bawl my eyes out, and all this emotion came out, poured out. And a lot of times you don't have to know what it's all about. A lot of times any emotions that you've experienced in your life have carried baggage in your body. They carry energy. They take up space within your body. It's why Louise Hay and people like her have written many books about how to heal yourself, and understanding that emotions can get stuck in our organs, in our joints, in our digestive systems, etc. And so when we can release that energy, we can heal ourselves better, or allow our bodies to return to a state of balance, or organs or systems to return to a state of balance, so they can start to function at a higher level again. Just simple things, shoulders and neck are about anger. It's also related to your liver. And so if you've got issues with your liver, or you've got a lot of allergies, which are usually related to your liver, or you've got frozen shoulder, stiff neck, so often you will also likely have anger issues. And so if you can start to notice, oh my God, I do have shoulder issues. Where's that anger coming from? What's it related to? How can I let go of this? How can I understand myself better? Then you can start to really move towards becoming healthier. Because, so often we say, well, I want to be healthy. And maybe you start eating better, or, drinking more water, or, getting out and walking more. And that's great. But unless the mental, emotional side of what's going on within you is addressed, you will never attain those health and wellness goals that you set for yourself, because it's always has to be that holistic approach to life, that you deal with your whole person, not just one aspect. And I think that's one of the biggest issues, that when we go to a doctor, the doctor says what your symptoms are, and the doctor only addresses those symptoms. The doctor doesn't address like the whole body, doesn't address what else is going on. Anxiety, depression, aches and pains in your joints, digestive issues, all of these are symptoms of underlying issue that needs to be addressed. And the beauty of Louise Hay and other authors like that have written so much about it, and it's Hay is the last name, is that not only does she bring to the forefront the information about what likely is the underlying issue going on, but she also gives you affirmations of ways to start to change your mindset so that you can start to adjust the way you think about yourself, the way you understand yourself better. All of these pieces are truly what will help you attain those health goals, those goals of abundance, those goals of loving yourself more. Because I really believe our purpose in life, our main purpose in life, is to learn to love ourselves. And so playing with the mirror work, Google mirror work or Google shadow work, and there's all kinds of exercises that will come up for you to help you work through that issue. The other thing, journaling is really, really effective to help you understand yourself better. And, breath work and being, doing meditations and breath work to breathe into your belly, deep breaths that fill up your lungs and fill up your body with oxygen can help you make your decisions quickly and more wisely and more effectively, tapping into that intuitive side of you, your subconscious self. And so these will help you attain those goals, right? And understand yourself better. So we have that main purpose of loving ourselves. We always have other purposes. It's never just one purpose that we're brought into this world to attain. Sorry, just 1 second. One purpose. We always have many purposes, but that is our true purpose, to remember who we are and to learn to love ourselves again. And another thought about loving yourself is to understand, this has come up for me lately, is, I get massages and I take care of myself that way. I get out for walks, right? I do some of the things that make me, I take care of myself on a physical level, that self-care that's so essential. But it's also not just, getting massages or Reiki or chiropractic or whatever. It is also doing things from a place of love for yourself. So when you're putting moisturizer on, thinking, I love myself, thinking, I love these different parts of my body. I love my hair. I love my nails. I love my skin, whatever it is, sending that love to yourself and being able to appreciate yourself. And if you can't say, I love you, it's that, I'm learning to like me. I'm learning to appreciate me. But it is, all these little pieces, even down to something as silly as when I put moisturizer on, right? It's always quick and rub it on as quickly as possible. But I've been thinking lately that when I do it is to take my time and appreciate, how amazing skin is. Our physical bodies, these human bodies, are absolutely amazing. There is so much that goes into them. There's so much intelligence, wisdom, so much. Words are not working for me right now, but there's just so much that is. These bodies are amazing. They're created. They're complicated, and so being able to appreciate what we have and to be amazed by it and to love it goes a long way towards self-love and being grateful for what we do have and appreciate what we do have. And that thoughts of gratitude raise our vibration. Even right now, I can feel in my body, and being grateful for what I have, I can feel the energy flowing through my body. And gratitude, if you've ever read Power versus Force, see if I got the, yeah. So this is an amazing book if you want to understand things more. Power versus Force by David Hawkins, and it's an amazing book. And it's what he talks about is he studied for, well, it's written back, doesn't say where it's written, back in the 1990s. But he looked, for 20 years, he explored the vibrations of our body and looked at emotions. And he put a map of consciousness in it. And he looks at each one of the emotions and talks about the emotions. And gratitude is one of the highest emotions. And that's when you're enlightened, when you can be in that place of love and gratitude for what you have. It raises your vibration. It makes you feel better. It'll help you move away from those pieces of you that you don't like, and help you be able to say, I do deserve to lose weight, to feel better, to get rid of the headaches, to get in physical shape, whatever it is, or to have that best job, right? To have that relationship that you're looking for, to attain abundance of health, wealth, and love. And so when you can step into that power of self-love, that anything is possible for you. Any goal you want to set for yourself, any health goal, any abundance goal, it's all there for you when you come from a place of self-love. So I'm Joanna Rochester, and this has been Real Talk Wellness Renegades. You can find me at joannarochester.com, or I do have a YouTube site. It's called Joanna Rochester Soul Alchemist. Another aspect that's more spiritual side of what I do is teaching you how to connect using connections with your higher self and guardian angels and ancestors, etc. So, but it is all about learning to love you. And when you can say, I love me, I truly love me, then your world will fall into place and you'll be in alignment. On Thursdays at 12:30, I talk about Real Talk Soul Alchemy, which is a journey of transformation from the you that you have grown up with to the you that you're supposed to be, and that give you tips and tools on how to transform and to utilize alchemy to become the best version of you. But join me again next Tuesday. I've got it down at 10 o'clock, but I've been doing it 10:30. Tuesdays at 10:30 for Real Talk Wellness Renegade, but check out my website, joannarochester.com. And join us again on Real Talk Wellness Renegades, part of Speak Up and Empower's online community of heart-centered people focused on sharing the world with those that are looking for more. Check out our website, speakupandempower.com, or any of the Facebook pages at speakupandempower.com. Joanna Rochester, have an amazing day. At Speak Up and Empower, we have conversations that change the way you see the world. Bye.